Please, Drew Smith, 7 minutes.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. I am grateful that this motion has been selected for debate, and can I first of all take the opportunity to thank all of those members who have signed up both for this motion, which we are debating today, and my earlier motion on the same subject. At the outset of my contribution, I would also wish to welcome to the public gallery Alison McLean, Senior Unite Official for the Finance Sector, and Jenny Brown, Chair of National Australia Group Committee of Unite and Chair of the Unite Finance Sector Committee. I also refer you, Presiding Officer, and other members to my register of interests as a member of the same union. The Clydesdale Bank is an important institution in Scottish banking. It was founded in Glasgow in 1838, and it is the personal bank of many Scots and of many small and medium businesses in all parts of the country. The Clydesdale has, since 1987, been part of National Australia Group. Since then, it has retained its focus as a Scottish clearing bank, headquartered in Glasgow, continuing to issue Scottish banknotes and giving support to many Scottish causes, particularly in the field of sport, having been a sponsor of the Scottish Premier League since 2007 and of the Scottish Commonwealth team since 2005. There are 300 Clydesdale branches across the United Kingdom, but around half of them are in Scotland, and Clydesdale employs 3,670 staff here. For all of these reasons and more, it is right that this Parliament takes a close interest in Clydesdale and the workers employed by it. In February of this year, National Australia Group announced a strategic review of their UK operations by Clydesdale, which includes Yorkshire Bank, and I raised the issue in this chamber with the First Minister. At that time, I wanted to ensure that the most robust possible defence was mounted to protect Scottish jobs, both because of the value of those jobs to those who do them, but also because of the strategic importance to the Scottish banking industry and the wider Scottish economy of this Glasgow institution, which has been subject to previous speculation that National Australia Group wished to divest itself of the bank. Throughout the period of this review, I have kept in close contact with the banking section of Unite the Union, and I also asked that the First Minister agree to meet with union representatives to discuss their concerns. I know that the Scottish Government did meet Clydesdale management, and I am grateful for that, but I am disappointed that correspondence I had with the First Minister appears to indicate that no specific meeting with Unite took place, which was focused on the uncertainty which has been experienced by Clydesdale workers. Members who have supported the motion in my name will, I am sure, share my concern about the news which has since emerged from the bank, and specifically the decision of the bank to close a number of financial solution centres here in Scotland. 2 business and private banking centres will close in Dunfermline and in Paisley. 2 so-called satellite centres will close at Inverurie and Bearsden, and the business and private bank centre in Stirling will be subsumed into the town branch. These closures reflect the desire of the bank to cut costs. The intention of National Australia Group is to withdraw Clydesdale and Yorkshire from property development and investment lending and to concentrate on personal lending and private banking accounts. While I obviously welcome any move which has as its objective the correcting of past mistakes, the staff who are to retain their jobs will want to be certain that the new course which National Australia has set for the Clydesdale is the correct one. I have been advised prior to this debate by the Clydesdale Bank, as well as obviously by the union, and while I welcome that many of the affected staff have had the opportunity and will have the opportunity to transfer within the business, and that most of those leaving the business are doing so through voluntary redundancy, it is a matter of great regret that some are being made compulsory redundant. The figures I have from the bank itself indicate that 20 Scottish staff are to be forced out in this way, and across the UK I understand that a number of those staff who are having to leave their jobs will do so today. Glasgow, in some respects, is likely to be a beneficiary of centralisation of some of the bank's activities, and I can hardly fail to welcome any new jobs which might be created or moved to my city. However, that does not lessen my concern that almost 100 jobs are being lost in the Scottish banking sector as a result of these changes, up from a previous suggested figure of 60. This follows on from the considerable pain which has been experienced by workers at Clydesdale's larger competitors in Scotland over recent years, and indeed weeks, with the news that Lloyds are to close their call centre in Motherwell. It could be said that Scotland is faring better by the changes at Clydesdale and Yorkshire, as the majority of the 1,400 jobs going are being lost in other parts of the UK, and as I understand it, particularly in the south of England. However, redundancy, whether voluntary or compulsory, will be difficult for many of the bank's hard-working and loyal staff. It is a cliché to add, particularly at this time of year, Presiding Officer, because in truth, being told that your job and that the work that you do is no longer required by your employer is a traumatic experience whenever and under whatever circumstances it occurs. For many of those who are leaving Clydesdale, it is uncertain where they will find new employment, and it is concerning that many of the skills which they have will be lost. Presiding Officer, in seeking to have this issue debated by Parliament, I have sought to highlight the changes which are occurring at Clydesdale, essentially a retreat into the bank's traditional heartlands and its more traditional banking products. The future success of this bank is, I believe, important for its customers, which does, as I have said, include a significant proportion of small and medium businesses in Scotland, and for the banking industry as a source of good quality employment. Of course.
Would the member accept that the Clydesdale Bank in particular is now the subject of review in relation to many of its lending products to small businesses by the Financial Services Authority, and this cannot be doing much good for the long-term reputation of the bank?
I'm not aware of all of the detail of that, Mr Campbell, and so I wouldn't wish to comment on it further, other than to say that in bringing this debate to the Chamber, my concern is that we do shine a light on Clydesdale Bank and do all that we can to ensure that Clydesdale Bank remains an important part of the Scottish banking industry, and clearly the maintenance of its reputation in all respects is absolutely vital to that. In closing, Presiding Officer, can I again take the opportunity to urge Clydesdale management and their owners, National Australia, to continue discussing the future of the bank with their own staff and their Unite representatives, not least because I know that there are many changes to the internal structures of the bank and management of those who remain, which will require the close cooperation of the staff side if these changes are not to be a precursor to a further retrenchment in the years to come. National Australia also need to make clear that they have a long-term commitment to Clydesdale and are not simply preparing to sell up when the market is right for them. Can I also urge the Minister, on behalf of the Scottish Government, to take a close interest in the decisions which are being taken? A close eye will help to ensure that the Clydesdale Bank remains an important name on Scotland's high street, a vital banker and lender to Scotland's small business, and a significant employer of bank workers in the years ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr Smith.